Hi, this is Dawn, and I'm a nurse for over 20 years. Proud to be a nurse for over 20 years. Done a lot of good things, seen a lot of great things and not so great things. And yes, I'm still at the bedside taking care and all of that. So I've had this relationship over the years. It's kind of like what we call in the closet relationship. I know a lot of you know what I'm talking about. We all have a closet relationship of some sort. And no, not the obvious relationship that people talk about, they're coming out of the closet. This one is about healthy and unhealthy relationship with the things that we put in our mouth, food. So I've had this relationship for a long time, and first I didn't realize I was having a relationship with it. It was just like regular everyday living. You get up, you do this, you eat that, and so on and so on. But eventually you realize, oh, there's something going on here. It's like you meet a new guy, and at first he was just your friend and social friend, and then you start talking every day, maybe 3 times a day, and you realize, wait a second, is he, does he, do I, that kind of thing. So this relationship started, and it started, and then I realized that no, there is a relationship. There's something going on here, and it went on and on and on. First, I didn't pay attention, like take good note of it, but eventually I realized no, I am having a relationship, and I try to kind of just keep it to myself because who cares about your relationship? It's just you. In the end, I'm definitely aware that I'm having this relationship. And it's been over, how would I say it? I'd say a good 30 years, 35 years, 40 years. It's been going on. No, I'm not cheating on my spouse. It's just one of those relationships that you form doing things that you like to do or even love to do. And I'm thinking about it right now as I talk to you because, as you can see, I have no paper, I have no script. I'm just talking. And as I process in my mind about this relationship, I realize that we really need to pay attention to the things that we do every single day and how it can affect us, as innocent as it is. And it does catch up with us like mine did. All right, so I've had this relationship, and being a nurse, you know, I work all shift. Sometimes I'm an 11 to 7 nurse. Sometimes I'm a 3 to 11 nurse, and sometimes I'm a 7 to 3 nurse. And being a single mom, I had to pick the shift that worked for my daughter and I. I had to pick those shifts that would allow me to be at home when she come home, and sometimes work an 11 to 7 shift when it's convenient for me to do the 11 to 7 shift, especially if I have to go to parent-teachers meeting and all of that. So there's a project going on, and I have to be involved in this project. So long story short, I'm mostly an 11 to 7 nurse in Brooklyn. And then I came to Connecticut, and the bulk of my nursing career is in Connecticut. I'd say over 20 years now. So I started off drinking coffee when I became a nurse. I don't remember drinking coffee before I became a nurse. So enter this relationship, and at first it was just to keep me awake. Oh, you know, you get sleepy, run about just after midnight. You take a cup of coffee because you know you're going to be there until 7, at least 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. So you get that first cup of coffee, and no problem. Maybe about 4 o'clock before you start the med pass and start doing your treatments, you grab another cup of coffee, and that's going to take you through the end of your shift. So this relationship kept on and on and on. This romance got stronger and stronger. I'm more in love as the years roll on, and before you know it, it's not 1 cup of coffee anymore. It's 2, 3, sometimes 3 cups. My limit is 3 cups. And of course, I'm falling more and more in love with this particular item. And today I'm coming out of the closet to talk about it. And I'm hoping that by having me having this conversation, more people will come out and talk about it, and we can dialogue and hopefully come to a conclusion. The whole goal of this conversation is not just to talk, but to bring an awareness that this particular love affair can really lead to something serious. And as a nurse, I know it only too well. So I went from being a younger nurse to in my 20s, 30s, 40s, and I'm going to age myself, yes, 50s and on. And gradually, at first, living in Brooklyn, you don't drive. You take the subway everywhere, pretty much. Some people did drive, but I didn't drive in Brooklyn. I took the train. Enter Connecticut, and you have to drive. You just have to. There's no train here of such, and the bus don't go to some places in Connecticut. So yeah, I started driving, and that became another situation. Along with my love affair, I'm no longer running to catch a train. And of course, over years and years and years, I now started gaining weight. And at first it didn't look like anything because I was always on the slender side. And as I progressed through years of living and driving and working a night shift, I wasn't paying a lot of attention, but I do notice that my size, certain size clothes don't fit anymore. They're kind of tight a little bit, and at first it didn't make a difference. I just kind of worked with it, and it definitely don't fit. At one point now, it definitely won't fit. So I inch up to the next size up, the next size, and the next size. And before you know it, I'm in a full-blown love affair with sugar.